The world of reality capture is moving quickly with new technologies and applications evolving all the time. Harnessing that potential raises some really good questions. Questions that our experts from Leica Geosystems answer live right here every week. I'm Christine Grail with Leica Geosystems, and this is the reality capture question of the week. Our expert today is Michael Harvey. Mike is the Reality Capture Senior Product Manager for Leica Geosystems here in the US and Canada. He has more than 23 years of experience with laser scanning and reality capture. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Glad to be here again.
Our question this week comes from Joe in Texas. Joe says, I like the idea of hosting my point cloud data in Reality Cloud Studio for data sharing and collaboration, but my clients are asking me about data security. How can I address their concerns? Mike, what would you say about that?
It's a great question, and it's a question that I get quite often. So, inside the system, that you can actually segment out your customers into different projects, or you can also ask or send links to them to individual assets as well. So if we were to go over into the system here and take a look here, so here I have a whole bunch of different projects, but inside each of these projects, so if I was to go in and say this one, we can have different folders and segment your assets that way. Now, if I wanted to send somebody to just this link right here, I can click on these things here and say share. And then to general access, I can create a link here. And then this link will be to just that asset alone. Now, furthermore is if certain people in your company cannot see other certain data sets. So if I was to go in this one here, you can see that I only have just a few assets here. If I go to project members, only these people can see the assets inside of this project. So there's lots of different ways that we can segment data out so that, say, customer A can never see customer B. We can also segment out certain things inside the actual system too. So if there is a overall data set, we can actually create a new data set by using limit boxes and so on, and actually omit some of those things and start sharing those in that fashion. So there's some great ways that we can segment the data in that way.
So if you had a really sensitive data set, you were working on a project and you knew this was going to be an area of concern, what would be a good strategy for starting to think about sharing your data? Would you start with the smallest possible pieces and then expand out from there? Or how would you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can certainly do that. So if we were to go back into the system here, I'm just going to open up one real quick. So, oops, there's no data in there. So we're going to go in here. So if I was to go into this data set here, and just the bridge is all we wanted to show. So what I could do is, like I said, create a limit box around this bridge. And then in this area over here, I can go ahead and create a new data set and then import that into my system. Now, the second way that you could do this is in Register 360, you can actually segment this out as well and have this as a smaller data set, put that into its own project, and then nobody would ever know the rest of the stuff is there.
Okay, very helpful. I'm sure that addresses some concerns. There are probably still some projects, though, where you just can't have data in the cloud. And so how would you address that issue?
So that we still have customers out there, and I know that the concern is real, that just data in the cloud is just an absolute no. So that is why we also have our Cyclone Enterprise product. So that is meant to be installed on your own internal server, and then that way you can manage connections through and manage your data in your own in-house systems.
Okay, good to know. So we have a solution, regardless of what the situation is. We have a solution that will work. That's great. Well, that is good to know. If you would like to know more about Reality Cloud Studio, check out our on-demand webinar where we share how to use Reality Cloud Studio as a market differentiator. Look for details and a link in the show notes. If you have a question for our reality capture experts, drop it into the comments. Each week, we'll select a new question from our audience for our experts to answer. What is next week's question, Mike?
I think we saw one. What is my favorite tool inside the RCS system?
Well, I look forward to hearing that. So we will talk about that next time. Tune in next week to hear the answer. Until then, keep scanning.